Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschachadeshatarne Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vanchkalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, so we are in chapter 33. A lot of ground to be covered. And yes, we are at the Kumbh Mela at Allahabad, the Arda Kumbh Mela. Arda meaning half. Let's just see if I can find where we are. We'll get there, don't worry too much. Well, okay. Anyone remember where we left off? Oh, just like a Jamil. Yeah. Oh, no. No. But almost. Sorry? I can't hear what you're saying. So, gosh, amazing. Okay, I think I've got it. Famous last words. The city of tents. Where do I end? What are the last few words? So let us read for a while. Then clap. I mean, we're right. 10,000 campfires that clouded the sky above the city of tents. Ah, city of tents. Haribol. Right. Okay, here we go, devotees. Sorry about that. When Prabhupada arrived at the ISKCON camp the next day, the devotees were ecstatic. Eagerly they began to tell him of the bizarre sights of the Mela. Ah, Krishna. One of them mentioned a guru riding on an elephant and added, actually, you should ride on the elephant. No, Prabhupada replied, I would put Radha and Krishna there. I've got a book somewhere, wherever my books are. They're still down. I got a book, a photographic book from Kumbh Mela of some years ago. I mean, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago or something. 10 or 15 years. And they got these characters. They've got these characters. How about the one, I don't know if there's photos there, he took a vow to keep his fist clenched for the rest of his life. And what do you think? Interesting idea. But the fingernails kept growing and came out the back of his hand. Haribol. And there's a picture of one of these sadhus. He's taken a vow never to lie down, ever. So to sleep, he has like a sort of a swing, and he just folds over the swing. Ah, Krishna. These kind of useless austerities, oh my God. And the one who, there's not a photo, but he's taken some sort of vow of silence or not to talk. So he put a lock through his tongue. Haribol. Anyway, what can you say? I could show you the book sometime. Yes, okay. Prabhupada's presence reassured his disciples, reminding them that spiritual life was neither exotic nor bewildering, but simple and practical. That's the point. That is the point. Don't take up some useless austerity, just of absolutely no value. Prabhupada talked about, anyway, there was a discussion with Prabhupada about one such sadhu, took a vow of silence, Mauna Vrata it's called. But when people would ask him questions, he had like a blackboard or something, he'd write the answer. It takes like 10 times as long as answering the question. Kali Yuga does such things to people, it's incredible. Right-ho. In Prabhupada's presence, the devotees' attractions to mystic yoga, Vedic rituals, and material blessings and benedictions vanished. They accepted that great spiritual benefit awaited the pilgrims at the Mela. But as Prabhupada had said, to go to a holy place means to find a holy person and hear from him. A place is holy because of the presence of saintly persons. The devotees understood, therefore, that the greatest spiritual benefit lay in hearing from Srila Prabhupada. Sitting in his tent with his disciples, Prabhupada explained the significance of Ardha Kumbh Mela. For millions of years, he said, this had been among the most sacred places in India. During the appearance of the tortoise avatar, Kurma, when the demons and demigods had been churning immortal nectar, a drop of that nectar had fallen here. Since then, every 6 and 12 years, certain auspicious planets form a jug, and this jug, filled with immortal nectar, is said to pour that nectar upon the Triveni. What's the Triveni? Anyone other than either you or you? No. Yes? The Okay, thank you. Right. Lord Ramachandra and Hanuman appeared here in Allahabad. Appeared here. And here, Lord Caitanya taught Rupa Goswami the science of devotional service. Prabhupada said he had also lived in Allahabad with his wife and family, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had initiated him at Allahabad's Rupa Goswami Gaudiya Math in 1932. As for the melas, anyone who came and bathed at the auspicious times when the prana was pouring down from the heavens was guaranteed either promotion to the heavenly planets or liberation. Which would you prefer? Promotion to the heavenly planets or liberation? Huh? Well, yeah, because the answer is neither. We want to develop love for Krishna and go back to Godhead to serve Him. So therefore we're not worried about these things. John Greaser, who became Yadava Prabhu, the videographer, I talked with other so-called gurus, and they were very impersonal. They didn't seem to care so much for persons, especially Westerners. They had a dislike, sort of a disdain, even though occasionally some of them would have a Western disciple. You know, it's a very interesting point. It's a very interesting point that so many of these people, you know, these sadhus who are not, you know, connected with our parampara, they look down on Westerners. And even, you know, like in Puri, if they understand that you're not born in India, they won't let you in. Won't let you in. So therefore, when you go to Puri, you have to walk in and speak fluent Tamil. And then, oh yeah, oh, you're from Chennai, yes. Etc. Anyway, I tell you what, it's such a contamination. It is such a desperate contamination. Prabhupada was completely different. He didn't seem so much concerned about externals, but was very concerned about a person's philosophy, his consciousness. And of course he always tried to inject Krishna consciousness into everyone he met. Unquote. Prabhupada said that although most of the saints and sadhus present were inauthentic, many were perfect yogis, some of them 300 and 400 years old. Yeah. You know, it's said that, did Prabhupada say, I think it was Prabhupada said, that his grandfather took him to meet some yogi. Yeah, when he was a child. And after they met the yogi, the grandfather said that when I was your age, my grandfather took me to meet the same yogi, and he looked exactly as he does today. So you can sort of fit that in your head. Yeah. So you get people like that. There was this one yogi, sort of yogi devotee, but he was more a yogi, in Vrindavan, or just, not actually in Vrindavan town, but across the Yamuna. Deva Varaha Baba. Did you know about him? You heard about him? Deva Raha Baba. Deva Raha Baba. There's a photo of him in this book. And he did breath control. And they say he was like a couple of 100 years old or something like that. Deva Varaha Baba. But he died. He died a few years ago. Not long ago. He was a really famous sadhu. One of the most famous in Vrindavan. Right. These yogis from remote parts of India would come out for the Mela and then return to seclusion. I have personally seen, he said, he is Prabhupada, I've personally seen, he said, that they take bath in the Ganges and come up in the 7 sacred rivers. They go down in the Ganges and come up in the Godavari river. Then they go down in the Godavari and come up in the Krishna river and go down like that. The devotees therefore should respect everyone who attended the Mela. So actually it's true, one of the devotees inquired, that just by bathing here they're liberated. Yes, Prabhupada said, it's true. They come here for liberation, but we have not come for liberation. We have come to preach. Being engaged in Krishna's unalloyed devotional service, we are already liberated. We're not interested in liberation. We have come to preach devotional service. When Prabhupada rose early in the next morning, the temperature was near freezing. His tent had no heat. Yeah, because, in that part, that's UP, I suppose. Is it UP? Or is it Bihar? It's UP. Yeah, in the winter, at that time, it's January or something like that. It really gets cold. It really gets fairly cold. Not that cold, actually, compared to Russia. Huh. What temperature were we in?
Minus 33 in Moscow.
We were minus 33. That's cold. But it gets beneath zero. But the thing is, it's so dry. It's too dry for snow. Otherwise snow would fall. When it gets to like -3, snow starts falling. If it's damp enough. But we were in Moscow and it wasn't snowing, isn't it?
It was icy.
Yeah. I've been in a few places like that, -20, -30. And it's just a perfect day. There's not a cloud in the sky. But it's -20 or -30. Anyway, yeah, in northern India, it's cold enough to snow sometimes, but it's too dry to snow. Right. So he walked to the pandal to lead the kirtan at Mangal Arati, and as he sat on his Vyasasan, a disciple handed him his quilt, which he wrapped around himself. To rise and bathe in such cold was difficult for most of the devotees. A few went to the Ganges, others bathed at a nearby pump, and some refused to get up at all. Giriraj. The program was very rigorous because it was bitterly cold at night, and we were expected to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and bathe and attend Mangal Arati. So a few staunch devotees like Tamal Krishna and Hansaduta got up early by 3 or 3:30 and walked all the way from our camp to the Ganges to take an early morning bath. But those of us staying in the brahmachari tent were not so staunch, and generally when it was time to get up at 4 o'clock, it was so cold that we preferred to remain in our sleeping bags. Srila Prabhupada also started to notice that some of us were coming late to Mangal Arati and that some of us were not coming at all. Prabhupada became very upset about this because he knew how important Mangal Arati was for us. So one morning, although he was a little frail in health, he got up at 4 o'clock and came out in his gamcha, sat down under the pump, and took that ice-cold bath early in the morning just to encourage us to get up, bathe, and come to Mangal Arati. That had a very profound effect on all of us, and we felt so ashamed that we just couldn't sleep late anymore. Well, thank you to all you devotees who got up early this morning. That's nice. Well done. I mean, we didn't take rest that late, but it was a little late by our standards. Right, okay. After Kirtan, Prabhupada lectured on Srimad Bhagavatam, resuming the story of Ajamil. This particular story, with its glorification of the Lord's holy name, seemed especially relevant. The holy name was so powerful that by chanting only once, Ajamil had been saved. Chanting, therefore, was far more beneficial than the prana coming down from the constellations. Dawn came, and the sky lightened, but only barely. A damp, heavy fog from the river, mingling with the smoke from the campfires, clung to everything. Rain began to fall. The devotees were unprepared for this weather. With food hard to get and cook, and toilet facilities the crudest, the devotees wondered how they would last for the scheduled 2 weeks. Prabhupada, however, who shared with his disciples all these austerities, remained transcendental and apparently unaffected. If the sun peeked through the clouds, he would sit outside and take his massage. Then he would bathe himself, sitting in his gamcha, dipping his lota into warmed Ganges water and pouring it over his body. He seemed so content, the devotees took heart. He wasn't complaining, so why should they? early in the morning, Prabhupada took the devotees out chanting. He wore his grey woolen chadar and his Swami hat strapped under his chin, and his disciples dressed in the warmest clothes they had, sweaters, hats, chadars. Prabhupada led the party as they weaved and wandered through the densely populated tent city. The kirtan was a joy to the other pilgrims. Ironically, amid such an exotic gathering of yogis, renunciants, naked sadhus, and the like, Prabhupada and his disciples created the greatest stir. And they were preaching. Although other groups were uttering mantras or lecturing in their tents, there was nothing else like this. This was the only Sankirtan, and everyone welcomed it, with Prabhupada stately but joyful at the head. The procession grew, and Indians joined the Western sadhus in chanting Hare Krishna. Prabhupada sent the devotees out on Sankirtan each morning. As the kirtan party roamed from camp to camp, many pilgrims would run up, offering prostrated obeisances, money, and respect. With strong, experienced street kirtan drummers and chanters like Madhu Dwisa, Dinanath, and Hansaduta leading the chanting party, the devotees would forget the cold and the austerity. Prabhupada stressed the importance of chanting. Always there must be kirtan, he said. Philosophy and lectures would not be as effective at such gatherings because the common people would not understand. Lord Caitanya had never lectured in public, but always he had held kirtan. As a result of the devotees' kirtan, thousands would stream into ISKCON's large pandal to see the Radha Krishna deities and take prasadam. ISKCON had the only Krishna deity at the whole Mela, and thousands would line up to see him. Prabhupada would speak in Hindi in the morning. Prabhupada would speak in English in the morning and in Hindi at night. And his evening kirtans in the pandal became a great success. The Indian sadhus with the women and the little child were a great curiosity to behold. Prabhupada also arranged for mass prasadam distribution, and he assigned Ravati Nandan and a few helpers to cook almost non-stop over 2 small wood fires in the kitchen shed. Some nights the devotees would cook vegetables and halava, or vegetables and puris, for as many as 700 people. ISKCON's impact on the Mela pleased Prabhupada. This is now quoting from a letter. In the meantime, our program for touring India has been going with all success in every place we're invited. Now we've come to the Ardha Kumbh Mela at Prayag, Allahabad, and we've got undisputed prominence amongst all groups here in the large gathering. Srila Prabhupada's lectures on Ajamil gave life to the cold and sometimes sick devotees. This opportunity to hear from Prabhupada was the reward for all their austerities. In each morning class, Prabhupada continued to stress the importance of chanting the holy names purely. He said, the purification of one's chanting Harinam means as soon as you chant the holy name of Krishna, you will see the form of Krishna, realize the qualities of Krishna, remember the pastimes of Krishna. That is pure chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. That is stated in the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami, that a pure devotee who chants Hare Krishna mantra immediately realizes the Nam, Rupa, Guna, Lila, the names, form, qualities and pastimes. Everything about Krishna simply by chanting the names. Oh, yeah, okay. You will feel the form of Krishna. You will remember all his qualities. Oh, Krishna is so qualified. He's so magnanimous. Then you will remember his Leela, pastimes. Oh, Krishna instructed Arjuna. Krishna played with his cowherd boys. Krishna had very nice talks with the gopis, with his mother Yashoda. These things you will remember. That is the actual perfection of chanting. Prabhupada reiterated that the only reason he'd come with his disciples to the Mela was to glorify Lord Krishna so that others could understand the importance of the Krishna consciousness movement. But if the devotees were to successfully give Krishna consciousness to others, they must first realize Krishna themselves. It was possible, he said, to think of Krishna always. He gave the example of the Indian women carrying big water pots on their heads. Just as they've learned to keep their balance in spite of all other movements, so a devotee, despite his activities and despite any mental agitation, should always remember Krishna. And the best way to remember Krishna is to practice always chanting the holy name. I remember one of our teachers in our school life instructed that if you always think, I shall pass my examination with distinction, then you'll pass in the first division. If you think, I shall pass my examination in the first division, then you'll probably pass in the third division. And if you think, I will somehow or other pass my examination in the third division, then you will fail. This means that if you expect more than your capacity, then it may be possible that at the time of examination you'll pass. So in chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, Caitanya Mahaprabhu has said, not that you chant only 1 hour, no. One should practice. And that practice was shown by Haridas Thakur, who chanted almost 24 hours daily. But because we cannot, therefore we have to engage always in the service of Krishna. That will make you remember Krishna. Prabhupada said that the chanting of Hare Krishna is exactly like a lion's roar. As a lion's roar frightens all small creatures, the chanting of Hare Krishna ends all one's sinful reactions. He repeatedly warned the devotees, however, to avoid the most dangerous offense, that of committing sins on the strength of the holy name. He said, but even if you fall down, there's no loss. That is the statement of Narada. If one takes to Krishna sincerely and executes devotional service, but then again falls down, still he will come back. Just like we have practical experience. Some of our members, some of our students have fallen down. But whatever sincere service he's rendered, that is his permanent credit. And one day he will be saved, just like a Jamil. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, sorry. Yes, what's the question?
Hare Krishna Gurudev. So Prabhupada mentioned that to give Krishna, the devotees need to kind of understand Krishna. I'm not sure exactly what the words were. So we hear that by going out and preaching, then we'll make progress in devotional service. How do we get the balance between the two, understanding and going to preach?
Between?
Like going out to understand, going out to preach before we understand, and or rather staying in and understanding first before we go out to preach.
I see. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada liked it if we chant our rounds and then go out and preach, even though our level of understanding is not high. But Prabhupada did say, and we mentioned just recently, Prabhupada said that if all you know about Krishna consciousness is that prasadam tastes nice, just tell people that. And maybe give them some prasadam. But you definitely don't want to speculate and concoct some philosophical idea which seems to sound like it might be true, because it also might not be true. So therefore it's really important to read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Caitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, those 4 books. You know what they told me when I first joined? Listen to this. If you read Bhagavad Gita, or when you read Bhagavad Gita, 27 times, it becomes part of you. It was attributed to, I don't know if it was attributed to Prabhupada. But yeah, I can understand. If you read Bhagavad Gita 27 times, carefully, nicely, not just zipping through, then it really penetrates into the heart. It really does. So therefore, I don't know, you read how many times you read Bhagavad Gita? 5th chapter. Oh, first time? Whoa. Okay. Anyway, that's something. How many times you read Bhagavad Gita?
Completely, I think 2.
Okay. How many times? Okay, that's good. Yeah, please read the whole Bhagavad Gita. Have you read, what else have you read? Okay. Not Srimad Bhagavatam? Any of Srimad Bhagavatam? Okay. Anyway, when you finish Bhagavad Gita, I would suggest you go into Srimad Bhagavatam, because actually it's easier to read than Bhagavad Gita. Generally, most of it, not all but most. great majority. Any other comment or question? Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.